and welcome to another week of mobility for runners. This session is good for any type of runner, including a sprinter, a beginner runner, endurance runner, whatever type of runner you are, this is for you. Today we will need some sort of long towel, band, whatever you've got. I've got a muslin cloth, some sort of ball, a tennis ball, a spiky ball, something like that. Unfortunately for me, all I've got is a golf ball, so it's going to hurt for me today. And some kind of rolling pin, foam roller. I've got a metal drink bottle that has like a foamy covering on it. Something like that as well. Alright, so as always, we're going to start with our warm-up, our dynamic moving warm-up. We're going to start with what's called an archer squat. So you're going to have your feet nice and wide here, and we're going to be bending through one leg, feeling that stretch down the straight leg, come back to center. Bend through, come back to center. We're doing 10 each way here. Nice and slow, get the stretch, both feet facing the front, come all the way up to stand. That's 5, we've got 5 to go. We are always, as always, concentrating on some hip stuff today. We're also concentrating on our lower limbs, our perineals, and I'll go through where they are and what they're good for. Let's switch sides. Our calves, our feet. So it's best to be barefoot today if you can. Really push the bottom backwards. If you're looking at it from the side, you want to go backwards, not just straight down. Okay, so really push backwards. Get all that weight in the heel. Let's do 4 more. All right, we already need our towel, our long band, whatever it is that you've got. So we're going to be doing a lunge pulse into straight lunge and rotation through the arms. So set up in your split stance. We've got a pulse through here. Stand up, arms come up and straighten. Stand all the way up to straight, pulse down. And straighten, arms go overhead. So you should be getting a nice stretch through the quad and the hip on this part and through the shoulders. If it's too hard to get your hands over your head, move your hands a bit wider. If you're not getting a stretch through the chest and the shoulders, make your hands a little narrower. Stretch. It's okay for this front knee to come over the toe, as in forward from the toe. Just keep it in line with your foot. So don't let the knee cave in or go out. Any knee issues here with the lunge, the bent knee lunge, just stick with the straight leg lunge. This is number 6 of 10. We're only going through the warm-up once. Last one. Oh yeah, you should feel some fire coming into those muscles now. It's good to get the blood flowing down, shake it out to the muscle before we start the static stretches. Alright, other side. Lunge first, into straight leg. Just make sure your feet are on train tacks, not on a tightrope. If you're falling over, it could be that your feet are stacked in front of each other. Have them in train tracks. Oh. That's it.
The AFLW preseason and season take place during some of the hottest months, putting players at significant
All right, right, we've got 3 more.
This episode, we're heading to Melbourne, where we spoke with Magpie co-captain Brianna Payne.
Nice. All right, we're going to move into a down dog position now. So down on the floor, coming up high on those toes. Really push through the shoulders here. So don't just kind of shrug down and hang. Push back from the shoulders because we want to get some extension through our upper back. Head is long and we're just pumping through our heels. If you've got very tight calves, you may not be able to drop very low. That's fine. We're going slowly here. Keep pushing back through the upper body, through the shoulders. If you're unable to do down dog, you can do this standing. So, or up on a couch or something, or standing on a step, just doing your pulses. Otherwise, down and down dog, push back through those shoulders. Nice and slow, get the stretch. Do 10 more. Pushing back the chest towards the knees. Four more. Alright, now we're just going to hang on the left for an extended 20 seconds. Keep pushing back through those shoulders, chest towards thighs. Other leg, right foot down. Ten more seconds. Relax your quads. Nice. All right. Shake it out. I'll thread the needle now. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up as far as we can towards one side and then take that shoulder down towards the ground. And pause and back up again. Shoulder down. Anyone who does a lot of sitting for work, this one's good for you. Alright, let's switch sides now. Open up. And you might have one side like we say, one side tighter than the other. Work on that side a little bit more if you need to. Alright, there is our dynamic work warm-up done. What we're going to do now is I need you to grab your ball. Mine's gone rolling over here. And we're going to be using this as like a little trigger ball or a trigger point to get into our muscles. If you do have quite a hard ball like this, one thing you can do is roll it up in a towel or a cloth or something just to soften it. A golf ball is quite hard, so I'm going to soften mine in my muslin cloth. And we're going to be moving around. This is going to feel different for everyone, so if where I've got it doesn't feel right for you, you just move it around to where it feels good. So we're going to start on a glute stretch. So our glute stretch we're going to be doing is our nice wide one, and we're going to be rocking side to side. We're going to pop that ball in under the glute on that lifted leg side. Okay, so we're going to be here about 2 minutes. I'll show you where I'm putting it. I'm putting it just kind of here on the outer glute to start. Already quite sore. Now I'm going to be here for 2 minutes, and within that 2 minutes, I don't know how that feels for you, so make sure that you're moving the ball around as needed. Okay, pad it up a little bit more if you need. Find that sweet spot now. We're going to start in 8 seconds. Oh, my glutes are sore from running already, so yeah, that's the spot. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2 minutes. I can't put my whole weight down on this ball because it is quite tight and sore, so you might need to hold yourself up with your hands a little bit. You may find a spot where you can just kind of sit and try and breathe into it without the rocking. If you've got a softer ball, then the rocking or putting your whole weight on the ball will be fine. Big deep breaths. Keep moving around on that ball, and move the ball around on you. If you want to get into the glute medial, that nice stabilizing side glute, you can kind of roll to the side a bit more. Just trying to, the muscle will kind of bunch up and protect itself, and then it will relax into it, and that's the part that we're wanting to get into, the relaxing part, as the muscles kind of open up. Keep moving it around. As you feel the muscle relax, you can stay there for about 10 more seconds, and then move the ball or do some rocks. Don't mind my squidgy faces. Ooh, I move it around. Keep that knee wide. This can also be done on a roller, if you've got a roller. Glutes should be the powerhouse of our running stride, so it's natural for them to get quite bunched up, especially if you've been doing some hills lately or trails. Roll onto the side, or if you've been doing your strength work, which of course we all know we should be. Alright, let's switch sides now. Other side, again, as always, is going to feel a little bit different, so find that sweet spot for you. This side is tight for me. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hold yourself up if needed. My arm's going to get a workout because I need to hold myself up so much because I'm so tight. Try and relax into it. Feel the muscles kind of bunch up, but stay there long enough for them to relax. Relax your face too. Nice deep breaths. And keep moving it around. Find those spots. Rock from side to side if you're on a softer ball or you're not as sore. Keep moving it around the glute. Remembering one side is probably feeling very different to the other. If you need more of a stretch this way, you can bring that foot in a little bit closer. Recommend you find a golf ball if you like pain. Last little bit. Alright, come out of that. We're just going to go into our wide for glute stretch, just to seal the deal. Nice and wide, bring it in. We're only here about 30 seconds. Alright, cross those knees over, hug in, Piriformis Stretch, it will go down your leg. Switch sides, wide first. Again, taking note which side is a little bit stiffer than the other. Make sure both hip bones or bottom cheeks are on the floor here. We don't want to rock to one side. Alright, cross those knees over, hug in, feel it shoot down your leg. Alright, coming up now, we're going to use our roller, our rolling pin, our foam roller, your metal drink bottle. We're going to be rolling the perineals. The perineals is a superficial muscle, so it's right on the outside and it runs down your leg from ankle to knee. Perineals have a really big role in plantar flexion or pulling that foot up. Perineals run down the side here. They have a really big role in plantar flexion or planting the foot like this, like you're putting your foot on the accelerator or in the running stride as we push off the ground. So a lot of runners can get very tight through here, and it can cause issues such as shin splints. It can cause the calves and the Achilles to really tighten up and take over if these ones are getting too tight or too weak or too tight. So what we're going to do on the side of our leg here, we're going to start from our knee. We're only going to go 2/3 of the way down, rolling down and rolling back. Okay, 2/3 down, 2/3 back. If you're working with a ball or a roller, you can also do this on the ground. It does require if you're working with a foam roller or a ball or something, you can also do this on the ground. It just does require a bit more upper body to hold you up. So you're going to put that on the side of your leg here, and once again, you're rolling down about 2/3 and back towards the knee. Like that. Make sure you're not on the front and you're not fully on the side. It's kind of on an angle here. Also requires a little bit of upper body strength. Mine are quite tight, so I'm going to stick with the rolling pin. And we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. So down about 2/3 and back for the first minute, and then we're going to do the bottom half for the second minute. Really push down, up towards the knee. Who would have thought you could do so much mobility with household items? Use those arm muscles, push down. If you get to a sore spot, you can kind of stay there. This is between your shins or the front of your shin bones and your calves. Finding a sore spot, just kind of stay there. Give it a good roll. If you're on the foam roller rolling around, that's the same thing. You're just going to have to hold a little plank there, mash side to side. Alright, we're going to do the bottom part third now. So from ankle kind of to halfway up, I suppose. Stay on that side. As much of an upper body workout as it is a lower body. Depending how tight you are, I suppose. You can also use a golf ball in this one, or your tennis ball or your hard ball, kind of rolling down. Same idea. Let's switch sides. So, knee to halfway down first. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Big deep breaths if you need to, if you're quite tight there. If this is a muscle you never knew existed and it's quite tender, this is something you might need to do more regularly. If you've got any shin splint issues, calf issues, Achilles issues, lower limb issues, then it's something you might need to work a bit hard on and possibly do a bit more of this after you run. Oof, getting tense in the upper body, relax through the upper body. Alright, lower half now. Twenty seconds to go. Find that sore spot if you need to and just stay there for the last little bit. Ooh, good job. Shake it out. Alright, the last one we're going to do, where's my golf ball on? Is the bottom of our feet. So actually a golf ball is really good for this one. If you don't have a golf ball, your normal ball is fine. We're just going to be rolling our plantar fascia. So plantar fascia is here, kind of towards the heel. And we've also got a nice little fat pad there. We're then going to work into the arch. Our arches can get quite tired. And then onto the ball of our foot. So to do this, you can just do it seated. If you've got a softer ball, you might want to do it standing to make it a little firmer. We're just going to be doing little circles. If you get a sore spot, just stay on it. Alright, once again, we've got 2 minutes on the clock. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, off we go. So staying on the Plantar fascia fat pad at the back first, little circles or side to sides. If you want more tension, then you're going to stand up. If you need less tension, you're going to stay seated. All right, moving towards the arch now. Side to side or round in circles. Depending where you're feeling tight, I'm quite tight on the inside of my arch there. Plantar Fasciitis is a really nasty injury that can happen to a lot of runners. It generally stems from a lack of endurance through our glutes, hammies, and hip stabilizers. And what happens is our lower limb, our calf, our feet start taking a lot of the load. So it's really important to keep strong through the hips. But this is also a good one to do if you do get a bit tired through the plantar fascia. If you have had plantar fasciitis in the past, definitely. Let's move on to the ball of the foot now for the last 20 so seconds. Alrighty, let's move to the other side. Starting at the heel. Let's go. As I keep saying, one side might be tighter than the other, so if you need to sit down or stand up on this side because it's different, that's fine. We never or rarely treat both sides equally, because we tend to favour one side, and that's not only in running, but you might notice throughout the day that you might stand on one leg as you're chatting with someone. When you're going up and down stairs, you probably lead with the same leg all the time. So it's not uncommon for one side to be tighter than the other. All right, moving into the arches, if you haven't already. All right, moving into the ball of your foot now. Up and down the full foot to finish. Oh, all right, that is done. All right, to finish off with today, we have a few more little dynamic-ish kind of stretches, I suppose. Of course, we're going to get back into that hip flexor. So what we're going to do, use something to pad up your knee if needed. We're just going to be holding our hip flexor runner's lunge. I don't feel like we can get through a mobility session without doing runner's lunge. So we're going to do runner's lunge, and then we're going to push back into our hamstring stretch. Assume your position. Let's go. You can kind of intuitively change here. If you're feeling tighter in the hammies or tighter in the hips, stay a bit longer on one or the other. If you're equally tight, spend some equal amount of time on them. You've increased your training load recently. You may find that you're not as flexy as you were a couple of weeks ago. So maybe a couple of weeks ago you could keep that knee straight and now you can't. That's fairly normal and an indication that things are tightening up, which in and of itself is okay. We don't want to be super loose either. We need to find that sweet spot between tension and length in our muscles. So if you're injury free and you're performing well, you've probably got a pretty good balance. As it's opening up, push it a little further. We've got about 15 seconds to go, so maybe to stay on the one that's tightest for the last 15. If your hips are tighter, stay there. If your hammies are tighter, hang on the hammy. Alright, let's switch legs. Remembering we want nice long hip flexor muscles, because you're likely that you're sitting in a desk all day and they get really, really short, but also so that we can extend in that back part of our running gait, and that allows our glute muscles to turn on, which of course is the powerhouse that's going to give you the power to propel you forwards. We're pushing backwards to propel ourselves forward, so these posterior muscles need to be really strong, but also the anterior or the front muscles need to be long to allow them to switch on. Just under a minute to go on this side, and then we've got one last stretch and then you're free. Alright, that last 15 seconds, just hang on that stretch that you need the most. Alrighty. Shake it out if you need to. Our final one, grab your towel again. It's a calf stretch, but a lying calf stretch. You get to lie down for this one. So wrap it around your foot. Kind of looks like a hammy stretch, but you can have that knee bent if needed, if you feel the stretch better, like that. We're going to pull the foot towards our shin and then come away. Pull towards the shin, hold for about 5-10 seconds, and then come away. If you're not feeling this in your calf and you're feeling it more, it's okay to feel a little bit in your hammy, but if you're only feeling it in your hammy, it's likely that you're unable to get that kind of flexion through the ankle. Just keep moving around until you feel it. It might be that you need to bring it down here a bit more, or maybe you just got really, really juicy calves. And then pull those toes back. Pull the leg towards your face. Come out if it gets intense, and come back in. I get this stretch better with straight leg too. You might start getting little pins and needly. That's okay. Come down, shake it out. That can also be a little nerve stretch as well. Pulling those toes towards the shins. You should really feel this in the belly of that calf muscle. Ooh. If you've done any hills or trails lately, then they're probably quite tight. Another time they might tighten up is if you're working on cadence and you're trying to increase your cadence. They can tighten up there, or if you've changed shoes, they can also tighten up temporarily. We've got about 20 seconds to go. 3, 2, and change sides. So again, play around with bent leg, straight leg. I like to start bent until it opens up and then I straighten up. Straighten that knee, they'll get a bit more of an intense stretch. Toes towards shins. If you're feeling it more in the hammy, it could be that you don't have your toes flexed towards your shins enough. Play around with where you hold that towel or band. Minute down, minute to go, and you're free. Pull those toes towards shins. Even wriggle the toes, that can make it feel a little different. "30 seconds left." Ten seconds. Alrighty, that is time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Rewind and go back through the ones that you found really tough. Otherwise, have a really good week and I'll see you next week. Bye!